Welcome to Allie's Attic, where you never know what kind of surprise you'll find in my attic. I'm your host, Allie, and today my surprise is a band that has created their own genre that they call Outlaw Country. Please welcome James Lynch and Hannah Huntley from the band The Silver Tongues. Hi, guys.
Hey there.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
We're doing pretty good. Sunny day here in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, must be nice. On my bucket list, I'm going to get there one day. It's actually sunny in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, too, right now, which is nice. So there is one more member of your band. I'm going to just throw it out there. His name is Peter Eric. So there's three of you. So basically, tell me how you guys got together and how...
It kind of all started where we all met in Los Angeles, California. That's where Hannah and I hail from. And basically, I was at a bar one night, a bar that Hannah and I both worked at, and she was singing some karaoke, admittedly rather intoxicated, and, but she sounded great, and I was just like, wow, we've been talking about jamming for a while, but, you never really take artists up on those offers because it usually ends in catastrophe. But once I heard her sing, I was like, oh, she's actually good. So we just started jamming, and we started writing some good stuff, but we realized we needed a lead guitarist, and I knew Peter because at the time, even though he's European, he was at Musicians Institute in Hollywood, California, so I had met him in Hollywood too. We brought him on board, and the Silver Tongues was born.
Wow. That's kind of... I love your your bios. I don't know who wrote them, but I absolutely love them. I'm going to read them just because I absolutely love them. So, James, yours is heavily influenced by his early Southern rock roots. You played the likes of Skynyrd and 38 Special long before you were even old enough to know the difference between whiskey and bourbon. And in your performing career, you've done everything from pop, theater, metal, anything that paid. And now you're settling in with a playboy and a vixen. So this brooding artist has found a home in the Silver Tongues. Now, Hannah, I'm going to read yours because yours is my favorite. And then I'll read Peter's. So Hannah is a true Spitfire, and you wrote your first song in a jealous outburst directed at your sister. Miss Huntley is known for slipping into a corset, strutting down to a bar in her fringe black boots, and drinking any man under the table, which we have that in common. After countless nights of telling strangers about her feelings and admittedly overindulging in Jameson, it dawned on her that she could actually make a living doing these exact things. And fate was kind, and as James mentioned, one drunken night of karaoke with James in the building eventually led to the creation of the Silver Tongues. Now, Eric is funny, too. Peter Eric knows how to live like a Swede. As a charismatic Swedish playboy, Peter learned early in his life that his love was for long-legged women, fast cars, and vintage champagne. Picking up his guitar at a young age, Peter often dreamed about the golden days of music on the Sunset Strip. That very dream brought Peter to the U.S., where he met James at a Western bar in Hollywood, California. So that's how you guys all came together.
Yep.
And your bios are hilarious.
Thank you.
I really, really like them. Now, talk about Outlaw Country.
So, to us, we kind of fashion ourselves more, I'd say, contemporary outlaw country.
Okay.
In the heyday of a lot of original country music that was actually coming from California, Merle Haggard, Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, a lot of those sounds were outlaw at the time because they were writing about breaking the law and making mistakes and, not being perfect humans.
Mm-hmm.
And to us, we exemplify the same, I guess, lack of morals in some ways. But, it's kind of like living life to the fullest, but at the same time, we live in a new world than those great men did, and we have to kind of find our own sound with it,
Mm-hmm.
And so, I guess in this modern day country where everything's about hayfields and pickup trucks and, Barbie dolls in your front seat, we're kind of writing about our true experiences, and it's definitely a different sound than a lot of contemporary radio country. Not that we don't enjoy that, it's just, you got to do your own truth.
Exactly.
And so people have started to kind of label us as contemporary outlaws from country music.
Okay.
We're not doing what everyone else is doing, which is kind of ironically the same as those old guys.
Exactly. They did their own thing.
Yeah.
I love the way you guys sound. I love that you're different. Now, so let me wrap my head around this for a sec. So you've carved out your own niche in a way. You're admitting that you're human, which is awesome because a lot of people don't. And for following like Merle Haggard and Johnny Cash and, the bad boys of country, kind of, so to speak, is actually very refreshing because they're the ones that really kind of captured the country audience. So it's kind of nice that you're following after them because you're creating your own audience as well because you're a little bit different than mainstream country, which is very nice and kind of refreshing. And like by blending the elements of country, rock and roll, and a healthy dose of pop, like you can hear it in your songs. And I think that it's a really good blend because really rock and roll kind of started before country, I think, if my history is correct. And actually, I think from blues got where we got started, but that's where rock kind of came from, and then the country, and then of course nowadays pop, and there's so much country pop out there. But you guys, I mean, you can hear the element of pop in there, but you guys are more rock and roll, edgy country, and I absolutely love it, as well as I'm sure your fans do. Where do you get the, like...
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, now you say you write your own songs, and you write it from life experiences. One word I want to ask you about, ratcheted. What is that? I'm assuming it's drunk, but I just want to make sure.
Well, all right. So, like Hannah so eloquently put, you have to sing about your own truth. Now, being from Hollywood, we sing about streets of Hollywood, what goes on in Hollywood. Ratchet is a rather urban term, which
not at your best.
Yeah, really, just not at your best. Not particularly classy, and so it is kind of a much more slang or contemporary urban term, and we definitely, I feel like we kind of introduced that particular word to the country genre.
I've never heard it before.
Yeah, we just kind of came up with it. We were laughing, and we're like, well, why not?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I love it. I just wanted to find out. I kind of figured that's what it meant. I wanted to figure out ask you guys what it meant. Now, do you guys, like, do you go on tour, or do you just kind of stay, like, I know you're in Nashville right now. Like, are you based out of Nashville now?
Yeah, we all relocated from Los Angeles to Nashville for the time being. We've been playing locally in Nashville, and we're actually next week going to be down in Key West, Florida for the BMI Songwriter Festival.
Oh, nice.
Playing 2 days there. And then there's the potential for touring at late summer and in early fall, but it's not confirmed yet, so we can't really talk too much about it.
Okay.
But yes.
Yes, the opening for a big act.
Okay. Well, that's good. We'll stay tuned to find out who the big act is. Now, I've talked to a lot of artists that go to Nashville on trips, or they move to Nashville just because it's a community, from what I'm understanding, of songwriters and people coming together and getting new ideas from each other. Is that what it's like down there?
I definitely think so. It's a kind of move here to take music to the next level. And so everybody here, at least from our experiences, is pretty open-minded and willing to try new things and accept new music. So it's funny, we kind of thought, everyone's going to hate us here because our music is different sounding. But so far we've gotten really fantastic feedback from it, even out here. And I think that's because Nashville is at its core a music-loving community. And when people hear good music, they want to support it because, you know, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm going to get down there one day. There's not for songwriters because I can't sing. But yeah, I want to get down there just to see what it's like. Now, the BMI country, okay, that's a big deal. And I know you guys can't talk about it. Now you've got me so curious, it's not even funny. So let's talk about the new EP you have. And I love the name of it, Rough Around the Edges, because you guys claim that you are. So you are staying true to yourself. When did that come up? Like, is it released now? When was it released?
The release for Rough Around the Edges was April 7th.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's been out for a little while. Almost
a month anniversary.
A month anniversary. Awesome. Well, I love the whole album. I've listened to it. I love the cover of it. I don't know. It just reminds me of good old country. Now, your name is the Silver Tongues, but the spelling is really different. Now, how did you come up with the name and the spelling?
So we, when we first decided that this was actually going to be a thing, you know, we threw a bunch of names around, and we really liked the idea of the Silver Tongues. But we realized that we couldn't really spell it the regular way for multiple reasons. One of those reasons is because it's a little too generic, we thought. There's also already another band and a movie called The Silver Tongues spelled regularly. Mm-hmm. So basically, it's our kind of contemporary and edgy way to spell it is we just took the vowels out of silver. Mm-hmm. But also, we wanted all our handles to match up, and silver spelled the normal way with too many characters for Twitter.
Ah.
So that's the real reason.
Well, it's a very good reason. I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, your website's going to be up on my website, so people will know how to spell it. I'll spell it right now. It's SLVR, obviously no vowels. And your website is thesilvertongues.com. And like I said, it'll be up there so people can find you. Now, your music is available, I'm assuming, to purchase from like any online music store. Is there one that, there's Apple, iTunes, there's Spotify, CD Baby, all of those. Are you on all of those?
Yeah. I mean, we're, Google Play, Amazon, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music. If it's
Tractor on YouTube, if you don't want to use any of those,
if it's a digital service, we're on it.
Okay, perfect. And yeah, your YouTube videos are up there as well. Now, I like the way you all look. James, you're not what a typical country boy would look like. And Hannah, I think you're beautiful. I absolutely think you're beautiful. And you can see that I'm serious. And you're edgy, and you can see that, and I love that. And then there's Peter, who puts on is it a cowboy hat that he's wearing?
Yeah, he's a big cat collector.
Ah, okay.
And I've always switched it up to keep him guessing.
Yeah.
He looks so innocent for being called a playboy, I must say.
I know, man.
But that's probably what drags them in, right? And he plays guitar. But yeah, I really like your look. Your picture of all three of you is going to be up on my website as well, so people understand what I'm talking about. And now it's a skull of a cow or something is the cover of your CD?
Yeah, it was actually the skull itself is completely custom made. We got a graphic designer to make that skull just so it wasn't stock.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool. He's an artist out of Atlanta that he paints on movie sets, and he does like graffiti for movies to make towns and movies look urban.
Mm-hmm.
Like he worked on Hunger Games, some other cool movies. So he did all that custom for us.
Oh, that's awesome. Now your video is out too. Now the video is for what song on YouTube? The new one.
Well, we have one video already out for Johnny Cash that's been out for about 7 months now. We have a second music video coming out for the song F Class, which is the second one of the other songs you're playing. Mm-hmm. And that's coming out on May 12th is when that music video is coming out.
Okay, so I'm going to urge everybody to keep watching YouTube for that and your website because Johnny Cash, I love, and I can just imagine what S-Class is going to look like. Now, if you guys had any advice to give any new artists out there that are starting out, what would it be?
I think my advice would just be to be you, no matter what genre you're going into, no matter what you're trying to accomplish with your music. It has to come from a real place. It has to be about truth, and that's what makes a real artist an artist. So never, like, seriously, never give up and be true to you. That's what I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah, and to kind of play on that, I mean, I think that's absolutely true. I think you might bounce around and try a lot of different sounds because, you know, everybody likes different music and their influence, and they're not sure what direction to take. But at the end of the day, if you just, you know, if you hit on something that you're just like, man, this feels like me, just like James is saying, you know, you gotta see it to the end.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's great advice. And one of the things I absolutely love about you guys is that you're true to you. You're not fake. I mean, just by reading your bios, you can tell that you're real people. And I love that after being in the business for so long. Now, we're going to be playing 2 songs from your new EP, Rough Around the Edges, and we've already talked about them. We're going to be playing Johnny Cash. Now, I want to talk about that song before we go on. What is the premise behind that song? Because you talk about you dress in black like Johnny Cash, and I'm sure there's way more to it than that. So explain the premise behind that one.
Yeah, so it's actually not too much deeper, but slightly deeper meaning than just clothing. It's kind of the state of mind of, you know, when you're really hungover and you want darkness and you don't want anybody to talk to you. It's almost like the persona you take on.
Ah.
And I think that we sat down to write a song about, everybody writes party songs, but we kind of wrote the aftermath of a party song. And you know, Johnny Cash was notorious for his partying. You know, even if he didn't go out and do it with a bunch of people, he was doing it by himself. He was, you know, definitely an abuser of many things. But a lot of reason behind our take on it is that, you know, when you're just hungover and you don't want anybody to talk to you, you know, it's kind of like you black yourself out from the world. And
that's true, and that's why it talks about.
And so we related that to Johnny Cash.
Yeah, and I love that, and that's where the term Ratched comes from, and also sunglasses and dressing in black, so you're kind of incognito and leave me the hell alone. Now,
right, exactly, it's more like that mental state of being like, you know,
yeah,
trying to disappear.
Yeah, hungover and you don't want to hear any noise. Now, the other song we're going to hear is S-Class. Now, explain that one.
So that one is about reconnecting with an ex, not really being able to fully get over an ex. And when Hannah and I went to write this song, because the really interesting thing as far as us being songwriters is the fact that with all of our songs, it's from different perspectives. It's different stories that somehow have to meet in some way. And so when we sat down to write this song, S-Class, we realized that we both had exes that we would consistently kind of reunite with, we will say. Correct? On air. You know, but we would reunite with them in a car. And it was almost like, because if you tried to do it in your house or in their place, like, that was just, it made it too real. Mm-hmm. But as long as it was in the car, it was like, nobody really knew, like, you were like, this almost doesn't count. So, like, we both had exes we did that with. So this car is about not really being able to let go of an ex, and the only way you can kind of connect with them is in a car.
Yeah. The S-Class is like the state of purgatory of this relationship.
Okay. So that explains the steamed up windows in the car.
Yeah.
I love this song. And yeah, we have all had exes that we've done that with. Now, what are your dreams? Like, where are you going to go from here?
We want to go, I mean, as far as this ride will take us, you know, I mean, we're really in it to win it. I mean, we got, this particular project has shown a lot of promise. I think people a lot of people really like this, and we're already reaching a lot of people, touching a lot of people. People are vibing on it. They think it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as people think what we're doing is cool, we're going to be here to do it at the biggest and best level that we can. You know, I mean, we really want to be massive, and we think we can. So let's see. Let's see.
Yeah, well, I think you can too. Now, you're not signed by anybody, right? You're independent.
Yeah, we kind of have our own thing going right now.
Now, do you want to stay independent? The only reason I ask is a lot of artists that I have on are independent, and they're determined that they're going to stay independent. I mean, when country music started and the stars started coming out, the big thing was getting signed. And I know a lot of my artists are saying no, they don't want to be signed because they want to be able to do their own thing. And they do, and so do you guys. So is that, like, are you going to plan on staying independent, or would you like to be signed by somebody?
I totally can respect how a lot of artists would take that stance and, you know, feel strongly about it because you want to have, you know, creative control over your art.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we want to take, like, a concrete stance on anything because we're really big go with the flow people, and I think, you know, we're going to tackle every obstacle on our way and make the best decision that's in front of us. So if we got the right offer, if it worked for us, you know, we could totally go for it. If we can do the independent thing, we would do it that way. So I think we try to stay pretty open-minded because, you know, longevity and success are the ultimate goals, and it's whatever the smartest decision is to get you there.
Exactly. And if you
know, kind of, I think, where we want to.
Yeah. And if you find a label that's going to give you the creativity that, you know, you want to do and produce your own songs, I think that's awesome. I'm open too. Like, I mean, I'm not a singer-songwriter or anything, so being signed or not being signed doesn't really matter. But it kind of shocked me the first time I heard it saying, you know, I just want to remain independent, when I'm thinking, well, yeah, but if you get signed, don't you make a heck of a lot more money? But anyways, hopefully you find that. I pray for all of my artists that they reach their goals and get where they want to. And it would be awesome if you could be signed with somebody that liked the edgier country, because I think in this day and age, we need it. I honestly can say that. I think we need people to be more real and not kind of cookie cutter. And you guys definitely aren't. You're forging your own path, and hats off to you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, I want to say thank you so much for coming on. Anything huge happens, my door is always open. You guys have me on Twitter. So, you know, you get signed or you win an award or anything, or you produce a new album, just keep in touch with me because I'll have you back on and we can talk about it again. And yeah, the door is always open. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Thanks, Allie. We appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries. I appreciate you guys coming on my show. And I'd like to thank you so much and say hi to Eric. And yeah, all the best to you guys.
Thank you. All the best to you too.
Thank you. And thank you for joining me on Allie's Attic. Keep checking my website because you never know what kind of surprises you'll find in my attic. Cheers!